On the cloud. Will do.
We'll have the B-roll.
Parties. So we definitely have to pretend that this is a physical space and we're all in it, and the door is open, but it's not quite the madness just yet. Hello, Sarra.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Gosh, I love that we're seeing each other like this. This is like Christmas.
Oh, I know. It is. Let's people pop on.
Oh my God, Minnie!
Hello, hello.
Oh yeah, it is like Christmas.
It is. We're waiting.
In the boiling heat, if you're in LA.
Who do we think is next? Drum roll.
Oh yeah, let's try to think who's really on time. How about Petra, our German friend?
Right.
And Sarra, I think Sarra would be on time.
Oh, is she?
I think so. Huh. What's your vote? What's your vote, Carmen?
Petra. I agree.
I just talked to her earlier today, so she was on my brain.
And Anna.
So I know I'm not supposed to like ever leave the house because we're in COVID, but I did go to the beach with Petra. And her family, they're such good surfers. It was so awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Which beach did you go to?
Rachel, it's Rachel. That's what I
you know what? I should have said that. I would have absolutely, of course I should have said Rachel. That would have been the one on time. Of course.
I actually didn't know all of who's coming, which made it much harder to guess.
Oh, it's all the good ones. It's gonna be fun. So Rachel, I can't believe I didn't say your name. We were saying who we think was gonna be on time, and I mentioned your name, but of course you were on time.
Actually 2 minutes late, so.
We're on Latina time.
We've got Minnie here. We've got Anjani, we've got Marian, Carmen, and Sarra.
And Deborah Benton.
And Deborah Benton.
Right.
What a great idea. Oh my goodness. Can we do this every week?
Well, I hope so.
On Monday, please, on Monday too.
Right, Manic Monday.
How, I think I'm having oh, there it is, gallery. There you are. Never mind.
I turned my Zoom background, my virtual background off because it's hard to just. It's hard to sort the alcohol.
Hello.
I know. By the way, there was no rule about not opening the bottle. I hope all of you opened and had a drink.
Right here.
No.
Like 11
Rachel,
a.m.
You too, Missy. Rachel, go open and serve your. Yes.
Anna's gonna gift it to someone lucky. I know that.
Yeah.
Tracy
Yeah.
Gray.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi,
Hey,
Wow.
Christy.
Tracy, I love your glasses. I'm in love with them. They have like a purple hue.
They're my old lady cool reading glasses.
And the flower, the framing is beautiful, and the green scarf of Anna. Look at you. I brought out my peacock chair. Look.
Anna, I'm surprised to see you here because it's such a big week for you. I'm surprised you're like, maybe you just need a drink right now.
You know, I've been doing this for 4 years. It's kind of like
Desi.
Hey, Becky.
She needs some girl power.
We're doing the shout out.
Girl-
We want the proof that you've been drinking. We want the proof that you already opened the bottle.
Guys, I have like been on 8 hours of Zooms and I have not, I was like, oh man, I didn't even get to go make a drink yet.
Oh, go. I think you need to go make a drink. And Moujan, I like it. I like it.
So excited too. He's like, this is so much tequila. Are you going to drink all of this?
Well, Jesse, I hope you made yourself a drink, and if you didn't, you should get up and get them back.
Someone delivered the bottle to my house today,
Yes.
and my husband got it, and he said, "What work do you do? Like, how? What do you actually do for a living?" And I'm like, "Oh, these are girls."
Well, that was an audio. That was my Claudia, my Neapolitan project manager, who I put on tasks like these. So
It's so sweet. Oh, tell her I'm appreciating it.
I love that we're all getting together. It's amazing. So
Kara, I think we should get started.
I'm in New York and I didn't get the madre, so I'm having sake, but we'll pretend.
We'll pretend. I'll have double for you in your honor. So I want to get started because we only scheduled an hour for this power hour. Thank you all so much for making time to spend with us today. This is our first in a series of Shop Talk events. My name is Carmen Palafox. I'm a partner at 2045 Ventures. And tonight we are hosted by Fenwick. Sarra, wave your hand. Many of you may know her. She's very popular in the ecosystem, most recently involved with the diversity writer. So thank you for taking that initiative on, along with Alex Guerrero at Act One. And also All Raised Marian is on the line here. She is in charge of digital events for All Raised and joining us from the Bay Area. Is it Oakland?
Yes, Oakland.
All right. And we also have another participant from the Bay Area, Berkeley, Anjani, who you will get to see her talented work coming up in just a few moments. So Assia and I are part of the LA steering team for All Raised, and we represent the funder community. We have two other partners, Sophia of the Noun Project, who just today launched a whole new photography gallery. It's absolutely gorgeous and represents diverse images. And also Bonnie Porter, who many of you may or may not know. She is an expert at people and culture at different venture-backed startups. So I am going to hand the baton over to Assia to talk a little bit about the inspiration for tonight and the agenda. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
Amazing, Carmen. I think one of the best things about this whole group is that I'm one of the rare, maybe lucky ones that over COVID got to make some real friendships, and the way that we've developed as a team has been really nice. So Carmen, I've had the pleasure of getting to know you, but when Anna kind of roped me into getting involved in All Raised, I had no idea what to expect. But all I knew was that I really, really, really wanted to get the community together. And quite honestly, I hope you appreciate when you're looking at all of us like this, and I get goosebumps thinking about it. We're pretty powerful. We really are. When we put the list together, we put a list of people who really have influence, who are doing some really important stuff. And we have every right and should be in this rat race together, and it's competitive and fun, and we have to keep adding value add to be able to stay competitive. But ultimately, I really feel like we're in this together, and All Raised or not, the mission is really just to get smarter about how we can share deal flow and stay connected and really think about shaping the game forward, right? We're the ones now in charge of turning the environment the way that we want it to become. And I think we should just, I'm going to stop now. But back to our gifting. So Madre Mezcal is just my favorite mezcal. I have no financial connection to it. And Davide Berruto is one of the founders, and he just thought it was great to get it in the hands of amazing women. And then Actually Curious are the cards that you have in your hands, which are owned by a Black-owned founder that I've been tracking for a while. And he just makes these cards that are all about community, and you can open them up with your family and your friends, and it's for discussion. It's like a discussion piece. So we'll get into that, and we'll do a little exercise later with this, but I just hope that you guys have fun with it and the mezcal way past tonight. So on to that, I'm sure I missed something. But I wanted us to kind of get to know each other and go around in a circle. Not circle, what am I saying? That's like
A virtual circle.
A virtual, yeah. I don't know what plane I'm in. But I think we have a screen up in a minute that will sort of give us the list. Otherwise, I'll name them off. And I thought we could all introduce ourselves and talk about the name of our fund, stage, thesis, if you're deploying or not. I know it sounds kind of like hard to sort of go into it, but I think the more we know about each other, the better. So name, fund, stage, thesis, whether you're deploying or not, and anything that right now is exciting to you. You can say all of those things or none, but try and give us a picture of who you are. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that to Carmen to manage.
Let's dive in. So right now you're looking at Anjani's work. We gave her from the registration that you filled in. Thank you for doing that. We gave her names and sectors you invest in. And again, we tried to curate across different stages, because what we're trying to do in LA is just build a string of really amazing female funders that will support you through the life cycle of the companies you invest in. So
yeah, we're
now
on a GPLP event at some point, just one thing I forgot to say before. So
that's right. We are both we know what it's like to raise a fund, and so we want to make that process a little bit easier. So now we're going to just go through, and please, we're giving you the mic for 1 minute to introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about your fund, and tell us something you're excited about, either a company that you invested in or another initiative that you're passionate about. And so we're just going to go straight down the list, and we'll kick it off to Tracy Gray.
And get a drink, cheers,
yes.
And all that. And by the way, we're only rushing because we only scheduled you for an hour. If this was the way we would hope it to be next time, is a little bit more fluid, where you guys trust us with a little bit more of your time, and we can actually have some fun with it. So that's what
2 hours, Assia, 2 hours. 2 hours.
I'd
All
like
right.
to give me 2 hours. I could have fun with it.
Tracy.
So I'm Tracy Gray with the 22 Fund. We're a growth equity fund, fundraising. First close, I think, at the end of this year. I'm very happy to see Effie and Kara, because I met Effie through Kara. And I haven't seen their faces in a very long time. So that's great. So what excites me? I'm a Buddhist, so I'm not going to tell you what really excites me, but it has to do with COVID and a certain group of people. So I'm a Buddhist, I shouldn't say that. What excites me right now is I'm trying to get these funds of funds that are focused on underrepresented fund managers to be created. And so I have about 3 different funds of funds, and I'm insert myself to invest in underrepresented fund managers, so then that we can invest in underrepresented entrepreneurs. So that's what's exciting me right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy.
I think, should we have like a shot every time somebody speaks? Shot. No, but seriously.
That's dangerous. All right, Moujan, you have the mic.
And maybe, I mean, we could also, maybe Carmen, you can name the people, and we can put the screen bigger on the person who's talking, which is so much nicer when we put the attention.
Did we lose Moujan? She on? Oh, there she is. I see her in my little.
Marion, we can make it so that we can see.
Moujan, are you ready? We can't hear you for some reason. Let's see. You're on mute. Now you're off mute. All right.
No, we can't hear you.
Okay. We can't hear you, so we'll come back to you. Laura, are you on? Laura Held from Shamrock. All right. I'm going to skip myself. I'll go later. So Anna Barbara, let's.
Yay!
You're on the mic.
It's great to see all of you guys. This is so much fun. Thanks for pulling this together, Carmen and Assia. That was awesome. So my day job is I run Techstars LA. We're about to finish our 4th class. I'll actually put the invite for demo day, which is Thursday. We have 700 people RSVP to our demo day. The mayor is going to say a few words. It's going to be the best place to be on the internet Thursday morning. And we're having an investors only mixer on Remo, which we did a dry run. If you have done these Remo cocktail parties, they're super weird, but we're doing that afterwards and it'll be fun and lots of jumping around to tables. So if you can make it, we'd love to see you there Thursday. My side, hustle and passion is the fund LA. We actually did our last close of the fund last week. We got all our wires in, it's all done. I mean, it is teeny tiny. It is a $2.5 million fund and with 70 LPs. So a lot of work went to that tiny little amount of money, but we've already made 10 investments, which is great.
Wow.
5 female CEOs and all of those in LA. So between Techstars and the fund, I've made 50 investments, 26 female CEOs, 42 of the companies are in Los Angeles. So small checks, very early, but lots of companies in LA that I'm investing in and excited to continue to help them meet all of you for their bigger funding rounds.
Awesome. So Anna B, the B stands for baller. Let's go to Rachel.
And today Finley had closed their round, so Finley was something. So yay to that today.
Yeah, Finley just got a big chunk of new fresh capital, and that's a deal that Assia and I do together. So super exciting. So.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel Springate.
Hello.
Representing Muse.
I am. I don't know why I get to go, Assia. I mean.
I talk already too much.
Okay, all right. So hi everybody, I'm Rachel Springate. I am the fellow GP in Muse Capital with Assia. We are a seed stage fund, a $20 million seed stage fund here in LA. We do broad consumer, so products, platforms, marketplaces. We are definitely deploying capital right now, which is super exciting in terms of sectors we love. We love anything in the future of women's health, motherhood, parenting. We also love ed tech and things that are community driven. In terms of things we're super excited about, Assia and I actually just 2 days ago, oh my goodness, yeah, we finished a deal which we're super excited about called Codeverse, which is actually a coding school out of Chicago. They were originally brick and mortar, but obviously the pandemic forced them to change strategy. And we've actually loved them for a long time and had the opportunity to invest. And we just completed that deal. So, in the STEM learning space, coding, super excited about that one.
And toilet paper, cloud paper. I'm
I don't know how many of you follow Assia on socials, but she is all about
toilet paper, apparently.
We're super excited to be involved with the lovely Effie on here from Sound, and also Dana and the team over at Greycroft. We announced this deal when climate change is a serious issue, and 20% of the world's deforestation is caused by paper towels and toilet paper. And so this is something made from bamboo, and we care about sustainability. And so that's also a company that we're excited about.
And it's soft. It is the softest on the market. I tried all of them. This house has been full of toilet paper.
Yeah. So that's about it. I don't know if I missed anything, Assia, but that's us.
Awesome. All right. Moujan, did you regain speaking ability? We'd love to hear from you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Woo! I don't know what was going on before, but Moujan, Kazerani-Bryant, Stibel, and we actually just were involved in a new SPAC that just went out, Tailwind, that's doing actually pretty good, which is nice. Was trading up last. That's been kind of exciting, just something new we hadn't done before. and also looking at other venues and other things that we might be wanting to do outside of our traditional sort of areas of investment. We are also looking at other Office of the Chairman opportunities that we typically participate in, where we go in and help the company. So there's a few that we're considering right now. And I'm excited because we're doing a lot more nonprofit work, which we all kind of really enjoy. But in particular, I think they just announced Springate, which we did with Tufts University, where we're working with them to establish a brain sciences department, and also First Star, which is for foster kids and getting education, et cetera, throughout high school, the last years of high school, so that they can go on to college. So, and a few others that we might be announcing hopefully soon as well. So this will be sort of our nonprofit Office of the Chairman area, which we're super excited about.
I love that. And just one question, how big is the SPAC?
It's big. It's I think it's like we're looking at $2 billion companies.
Whoa.
You want to know
pretty big.
We've got some B going on here.
But we're doing it with partners, obviously, going in and helping sort of on all aspects. But this is our first. But it's definitely an area of interest, especially right now, because as you know, there's a lot of SPACs right now. I don't know how long it'll last and how it'll be, because with SPACs, it's really sort of binary on finding the right company. So we'll do this and see how it goes. And
the best SPACs go to the best managers, and you guys have a stellar reputation. So
that's right.
I'm sure that you're ahead of the pack for sure. That's
Moujan blazing trails.
The next time we'll sort of fill you in on how that's.
Moujan, that's awesome. Somebody was asking me, why are there no women-led SPACs? And I was like, that's an interesting question, because they're honestly just they're probably just not that many women in a position, like in a growth equity position, to go do it. So it's fabulous. What targets are you looking for, so we can all send you our best companies?
Yeah, they're large companies, but I can send around sort of some information if people are actually interested. And one of our partners, Wisdom Lou, is actually going to be on the board, and I think that will be actually interesting as well, having more females on these boards of the SPACs, seeing the whole process through.
Definitely send us information, and I think we all get deal flow of all levels, despite our investment thesis. And I know we all love to. Well,
we'd love it. Obviously, we'd love any intros to companies, or even companies that potentially would be interested in SPACs go forward, as we look at other things down the line as well.
I've been looking at SPACs for a while and getting my head around them and just figuring them out. And I have to tell you, it's super interesting. And I think this conversation will probably lead to something. So maybe we can come back to that the next time we meet. Maybe we can make that maybe one of the themes.
That would be great.
Totally.
It's new for us, and we've been doing a lot of research on it. I've been doing a lot of learnings, and I think it's actually pretty exciting.
Yep.
So definitely interesting.
Very cool. Yeah. I hear a lunch and learn potentially coming up. Thank you so much, Moujan. Petra.
Hello. Yeah, super excited to be here. I think I know some of you guys. I'm probably the newest fund. We just started in March of this year. I started Wedbush Ventures in collaboration with Wedbush Capital, which is the holding company for Wedbush Financial Services, which if you are in LA and you ever drive down the 110, you'll probably see the Wedbush logo on the building. I'm an independent fund. Wedbush was my first and currently largest LP in the fund. I focus on pre-seed seed, so kind of taking it from SPAC all the way back to the early stage, but would love to learn more about SPACs, and super interested in any kind of model that changes how you can raise capital, especially in the later stages. But my passion is early stage, so I look at pre-seed, seed stage. I've been in product and operator roles most of my career before starting this fund most recently at Netflix. Before that, I ran a venture banking division of Grand Point Bank here in LA. Before that, I was at Yahoo. And so I kind of bring my product operational lens to my investing. And so I love fintech, I love content tech, I love e-commerce, been dabbling in healthcare, but have a heart, I like regulated industries, but that's one that I'm kind of trying to be open-minded about, but I generally love to invest in things that I know. And so I tend to stay towards like content media, ad tech, fintech, and e-commerce as primary investment areas. And yeah, really, I really focus a lot on product. That's my background, and how thoughtful is a founder being about product? How are they thinking about the market? How are they thinking about their differentiation in the market? We invest 50 to 100K as a first check-in, but wanting to support the companies as they grow. And obviously, first fund. Been super lucky having somebody like Wedbush to come in and support me and help me get this fund off the ground, and hoping, keeping this first fund small to get it off the ground, and kind of hoping for much bigger things, obviously down the road. Super excited. I just closed in a company actually this morning. The wire went out in the content space, and so it's like one of those founders when you meet those founders and you're like, this is exactly what I've always been looking for in a founder. And that was, her name is Chen in Texas. She's built this AR platform. I should say AR it's an animation technology platform. And she's built it super smart, and within 6 months has gotten Google and Night Media and Ryan's World and a bunch of really interesting players using her technology. It's kind of like animation for everyone, but in a really premium way.
Very cool. Wow, sounds interesting, Petra. You might have to send that around.
We will definitely reach out and connect and give you our story, because we're 4 years in, and we'll give you all of our lessons learned for sure, and there were many.
Yeah, super excited to be here. It's awesome. I always say, like, having come on the industry side, my experience of women supporting women hasn't always been the most positive, and I've been like super grateful to all the women I've met so far, and their support and real true support, and being helpful and thoughtful and giving advice, and yeah, I think we can only be better if we support each other. So thank you.
What's awesome is that we're not doing it for charity. We're doing it because actually that army is actually pretty darn influential and can make some big changes. So anyway.
And speaking of that, Jesse Draper's up next.
I was going to say, I have to say, Jesse, I read what you wrote, and we actually, as the female partners at Bryant Stibel, we're all reading it and talking about it. So way to go.
Thank you. I never anticipated. Hi, I'm Jesse. I think I know most of you, but for those of you I don't know, I run Halogen Ventures. We invest in early stage female founded consumer tech. We do lead sometimes. We are deploying now, and we have about 62 portfolio companies. We do 25% CPG, and the rest is pure tech plays in consumer. So yeah, I wrote this article called, and I'm sorry I swore in the title, because that seemed to be, there's always a couple of trolls, and those few trolls were very upset that I swore in the title. So I apologize, but you wouldn't have read it if I didn't swear in the title. But I called it
trolls are a compliment. The more the better.
I kind of put it out there. It really surprised me, the response.
Oh, Jesse, it was so well written. It was so well written. Right. It was so on point. It was so great.
And you did have to swear for people to listen. And it only works and has impact if people listen. So you're just throwing them a bone. It was really well written.
But if you haven't read it, it says it's called Investing in Women Isn't a Fucking Charity. And I would love your, opinion on it. I've gotten some really great stories and just feedback to the article, and it's been a good conversation starter. And yeah, I never write anything, and I just kind of like put it out there and was like, we'll see what happens, and it's been really positive.
I love that. I have two questions. One, are you in raise mode, or are you deploying? Are you in a hybrid? And is there one particular deal that we should be looking out for and have on our radar in general, not like that you've invested in that you're proud about?
We are deploying. We've been deploying while raising, but we're closing the fund right now, actually. So it's we're almost done. I can't wait till it's just like herding these cats right now. Yeah, there's so many deals. If you guys are looking for something specific, just email me and I will send you who's raising. But yeah, I just invested in this company called Vivu. Have any of you seen it? It's like,
What is it? Tell us more.
Okay, I need to send it to all of you because I'm obsessed with it. But
Tell us.
okay, you pee on a stick, but men can pee on it too. So it's not like a pregnancy test. And she developed it in the hospital with the same technology they use. It's like not too highly regulated. It's approved, like FDA approval, etc. But she used the same technology that they use to test your urine in the hospital. And that's where she built this essentially. And so you pee on it, it assesses 8 different categories of your health: hydration, immunity, liver, ketones. And then you take a picture of it with their app a minute later, and it gives you these specific things to do. So it was like, oh, you need to eat more cabbage. And now I eat cabbage. I apparently didn't eat enough cabbage in my life. And I do whatever it tells me to do, and I feel great. It's like this other consumer touch point in the health and wellness space, and I'm just kind of obsessed with it as a consumer. And my husband and I are very competitive with it because you get this like ranking out of 10 for each category, and so I have to send them to you. But I'm absolutely obsessed with this thing.
Well, it sounds like a goodie bag treat for our next event.
For sure.
What's it called again? I'm really interested.
Vivu.
What?
Here,
Vivu.
Vivu. I'll just put it in the chat. But yeah, so let me know, and I'm happy to send them to you.
And please put a link to your article as well in the chat for those who haven't read it. It's a must read.
So nice. And thank you so much for doing this. This is just really, I don't know, it's so nice to see all your faces, first of all, and it's just empowering to be in a room like this. Even if it's virtual, it's empowering to be in a room like this because it's not every day. You get to see these incredible female entrepreneurs and as Assia investors. And as Assia said, this is a very powerful room. I'm proud to be in here. You guys are baller. I don't know what I'm doing here, but
so nice.
I agree. Pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. Minnie, my wonderful Minnie.
Hey.
She's gonna school us. I see the blackboard behind her.
Totally. So I would say that TenOneTen is kind of like a nerdy seed stage fund, kind of nice and nerdy. And so I meet with all these founders all day long, and about 1 in 5 tries to solve the equations behind me. And it's kind of awesome. And like, I meet with all these guys from aerospace and whatever, and it's actually like fluid dynamics behind me. And I'm always kind of impressed. Like I always like, oh, you're pretty legit once you start solving my blackboard, especially because it's mirrored. So it's especially hard. Anyhow, it's my dad's office, and I just think it makes me look smarter. So we do early stage seed investing. We are actively investing right now out of Fund 2, and we have a number of investments to go, but we're also very actively fundraising. So that takes up a lot of my time. And, it's a sort of an exercise of swallowing my pride and asking people for money and asking them to ask other people for money and all of that. But, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's kind of okay. Like it's sort of a drag.
Just one.
Minnie.
Remember that you are offering them an opportunity, not the other way around. It's honestly like you have to, I know it's not inbred in us from birth, but eventually you're like, oh, wait, it is just like the way I thought about it. You are actually bringing them an opportunity. You are sitting on a good opportunity. You're not lying to them. It's real. It's a real opportunity. So it might not be right for them then and there, but you're not going in asking for money. You're giving them an opportunity.
I totally agree. And if you could just tell them that too, that might help. Totally fine. Or just send me $10 million, any of those is fine. But then like the thing that I'm actually doing just like today, I'm all out of sorts today because I'm actually dealing with it. My company's going through a SPAC. And, everyone says it's like, all the advantages of a SPAC versus an IPO are, it's so much faster. It's a compressed timeline, all of that. but honestly, it's like all the mess of an IPO and like, it's almost acrimonious actually at this point. And it's supposed to be this big like celebratory thing. And it's actually
And
really
Minnie's
hard.
company is Shift, which my
Yeah,
fiance bought his car off of. I
Nice.
was like, Minnie's gonna be on this call.
Yeah. So I've been selling used cars for 5 years, but now I'm really excited to be part of this group. And yeah, I'm enjoying being on the VC side of things, and being in LA and getting to know all of you has been great, but SPACs are really hard. So
And we'll get into that in the next thing, because I'm super excited. We
amazing.
all have so many different touch points in that.
And you know, the only other thing I'd say on this back, because it's been a very like reflective day, is that, you know, having an exit, you sort of are like, oh, it's supposed to be a big deal. And, you know, and my mom was like, whatever, like, we're not doing this for money. Like, that's not why we're in it. Like, we're here to like be building something better in the world. And so like, let's celebrate that, not the financial aspect of that. Which is I was hoping she'd be more of an upper for, but whatever. It was a good point, and I really appreciate it. Anyways, it is good to be here today.
And typically,
Super
IPOs,
impressive.
in my opinion, when companies IPO, the innovation pretty much stops. So it's sort of like, in a way, it's a celebration, but it's also the end of something, right? So and it's not always the best option for other things. But maybe we have a new version of SPAC that we do together, and that we can discuss in the next call, because I think we could really do something interesting there.
Wait, one other highlight is I had Petra on the podcast today, and it was so good. It was so great. And so if you all haven't been on the podcast, you know who you are.
She does a good job.
Listen to Petra's. It was great. It'll be up soon.
Well,
Cool.
amazing. Sarra.
Hi, I'm originally from France. I started my career as an investment banker over 10 years ago. I worked on the LP side in the Middle East. I worked at Assia, the sovereign wealth fund, doing venture capital investing. Then I worked at a couple of firms, and now with Global Founders Capital, we're a global fund, $1 billion to invest, ideally early stage. So ideally mandate is seed stage, but we've opportunistically done also growth stage, and with a life cycle strategy. We're sector agnostic. I personally like fintech and marketplaces a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty excited about what's happening to LA. Everyone I know is moving here, founders, investors. So I'm very, very excited. And yeah, one of my investment was announced last week, called Picasso, big first financing in the real estate for fractionalized home ownership of second home, vacation home, allowing people to be able to buy a share. It's not timeshare, it's real ownership. And yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's awesome. That was with Spencer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that is, yeah, that looks really interesting. Congratulations. Super
Yeah,
exciting.
most of the team came from, a big chunk of the team came from Zillow, and yeah, we're very excited about it.
Spencer was my student body president back in the day. If you ever need some dirt on him and he's not behaving on the board, let me know.
Nice.
That's amazing.
So he was always the one wearing collars in LA. So he's always been pretty straight arrow, and I have very little bad to say.
Can we just say, Cara, it's actually pretty awesome to be watching you run while we're on the thing. I feel like I'm getting a brush of clean air. And
I was gonna say, I'm definitely walking and not running. I have major anxiety of presenting like a Bay Area tech bro, but I had one of those days, and I emailed Carmen and Assia and said, do you guys mind if I just go outside? So I need like a mental health moment. So thank you for letting me be a tech bro. I really appreciate it.
You're the closest thing I've gotten to working out these days. So I'm gonna count this.
Amazing. Well, Assia, if you want to stay on after, I'll do a Brandy Chastain moment for you. Just kidding.
Up here sipping my tequila. Okay, Rhee.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Ooh,
Yes. It's a little choppy, but go for it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. Sorry, I still don't have good connections at my place, but thank you for the alcohol delivery. I'm not going to be drinking because I have a little migraine today, but it was a total surprise because I didn't know which day it was today. So my background, I'm a technologist. I started with the government first, and I have my own fintech startup. And I transitioned into as an intermediary for other governments. And then, you know, I just got a referral and said, you know, you should work with this person. It was not just one person. You should work with this person. And that was Legendary. And Legendary Venture Capital is headquartered in New York City. It's a $100 million fund. We're in fund 2. The first fund was 100% GP. The founding partner is Ken Anderson, former CEO of Macy's, Jamie Driver and Jason Kim. Their backgrounds are in media, ad tech, marketing, and Jason's more in the consumer realm. The first fund had the thesis as consumer with Lululemon, pre-seed with Pinterest, Etsy, Zolo, marketplaces, and then Airbnb. The second fund, we're a little bit more agnostic, B2C, B2B, B2G, B2E, government and ecosystem and enterprises. So the last participation of funding we just did was SpaceX. And then we still do consumer food and beverage. So we do like alcohol. So if you guys know any companies that
definitely. So
money.
100%. This actually is a huge news to me because we don't invest in alcohol, and it's an area I absolutely adore to invest in. So I always live vicariously, and so I now know where to send the good stuff to. So.
Oh yeah, food and beverage.
Madre is raising, actually. Madre is raising.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and it's a
the right way.
So it's a good one.
And then we also do SaaS as well too. Being a technologist, I do AI, ML, deep tech, space tech. So that's kind of a mix mosh, but we're also borderless. So we did Singapore, London, Canada, pretty much all the continents. We're always opportunistic. We're always, we did one, I think I shared with a couple of you, it's called Gemist, women founder. I mean, we just adore her. And she's about to raise soon. So you can look it up. It's GEMIST, is buy and try before you buy, engagement ring and custom jewelry. So that's about to raise soon.
She's super impressive. It's the one where you alter the
Madeline. Yes. Yeah, so we have De Beers group on her cap table as pre-seed. Wow. So yeah, so we're raising for her seed round soon. So
I met her.
Stay tuned for that one.
She's amazing.
Is that Valerie? Is her name Valerie?
Oh no, it's Madeline Fraser.
Madeline Fraser. Okay.
Definitely a baller founder for sure. It was too early for us at the time, but it's like if she definitely has it in her to build. So if you're interested in this, she's got my vote for sure.
Yeah, no, I met her at her earlier company and thought she was tremendous as well. And if I was allowed to invest in diamonds, I would.
Didn't she come out of Techstars a couple of years ago? Anna, wasn't she? Yeah, no, not company. Sure. Wasn't her prior company? Maybe I'm confusing it.
Wasn't she at Hutch?
She was in the home design company that Tinder invested in, right?
Oh, House.
No, it was
Hutch. It was Hutch.
It was like Homey and then Hutch, I think.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is amazing. Deborah Benton.
Oh, thank you. Assia and Carmen, thank you so much for putting this on. What an amazing group. I mean, I consider most of you really good friends, which is so nice to see you. I mean, seriously. So I'm Deborah. I am the general partner and founder of Willow Growth. Amanda Schutzbank, who most of you know as well, is my partner. She's incredible. She's amazing beyond belief. I wish she could be here, but her daughter turned 2 today, so she is celebrating her daughter's 2nd birthday. She lives in LA.
Well, drink to that.
I know, exactly.
For all the mothers and VCs who do that. I don't have children, and I watch Rachel do it, and I'm like, holy fuck. And then I watched Jessie with all of her children, and I'm like, how do you balance it all? Cheers to you moms, for sure.
Kara, you have 3. I don't know how you do 3.
The oldest one, you eventually just leave the house and you leave the other 2 with the oldest one. That's when it starts working.
Yeah.
At what age can you do that?
I mean, don't ask me because we might be violating laws, but for mental sanity purposes, we just started doing it and it honestly was like a life changer. But 12, we went with 12. So you guys
my son just turned 12. I'm hopeful.
So we are a $25 million fund, and we launched, great timing for 2 women to raise a fund. We launched in February of this year. That was fun. That was fun. We sent out our first subdocs 1 week before the US lockdown. So that was just fantastic and super fun, which we'll write a book about. We have done 2 closes, and we are miraculously, we've raised this fund over Zoom. We are almost 3/4 raised. So we are, yeah, it's beyond belief.
That is beyond a feat.
I don't know how it happened. I'm not kidding. Like, I don't even know what's going on. It's insane. It's
It
insane.
happened because you guys have a reputation and people know about you and you're one of the best. Sorry, but I'm going to state one of the obvious when need be, and that's why you're in this room. It's not just random. It's because, you know, you're
lovely. You are lovely, but it has been like, holy shit, what a year. It's great. We have 4 companies. Oh my God, we just closed on a company this week. So we have 4 companies in the portfolio. We're super excited.
Tell us, what are the companies?
What are the companies? We led a company called Coterie, which is we invest in consumer brands. So as opposed to consumer tech, which is a much broader field, we are really, really focused on consumer brands. Most of them are inventory holding, very powerful, emotional, connecting consumer brands. Health, wellness, beauty, skincare, personal care. We'll look at fashion and apparel, and I have a lot of investments, personal investments in those, and I love them because I operated for 20 years, but holy shit, are they hard. So that comes with a high bar, but I do like them. And we're looking at food and beverage, and we're just about to invest in a sparkling tequila category right now. So yes, Assia, we invest in alcohol, and I like alcohol.
What's it? Sparkling tequila. My ears perked up.
Obsessed. I'm literally, this is my problem as an investor, is like I fall in love with the founders and companies. Like I literally do. It's like super, super unhealthy. But yes, so I am beyond excited in the context of a really horrible, challenging year for everybody. Silver linings, this has been one of the most extraordinary years of my life. There's no question, there's no question. We invest through a context of values. So we invest in companies that are values-led, and the values can be different depending. It can be around sustainability or clean formulations or healthy living. But they all are, I feel a great deal of responsibility to allocate capital in a way that pushes our society forward. And so I'm definitely want to make money. There's no question. I am a capitalist at heart, but I don't think it's orthogonal to doing good in the world. And I really just want to invest in companies that are going to push us all towards a better life. Portfolio companies, Coterie, baby personal care, best diaper on the market. Good Fair is bringing thrift online in the recycled fashion world. We took a super pro rata, Imaginary led that deal a few months ago. Feels is in a health and wellness company that's in high grade CBD. And we just closed on a Gen Z focused clean beauty company that I'm like literally obsessed with. So yes, I have to tell you, the thing I'm most excited about is all of you. In all of these conversations that I've had, and believe me, we have 78 LPs. Let me just repeat that, 78 LPs. the biggest conversation I have for me is around the excitement of women allocating capital. And women, 98% of the world's global assets are allocated by white men. And we have built a world that does not reflect all of us. And we need a world that reflects all of us, and that includes diversity in capital allocation. So I am super thrilled about that, and all of you are part of that. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this community. I can't even tell you. So grateful.
Well, we're grateful to have you, and certainly, but the tequila thing, definitely we have to connect, because one day I called Rachel and I said, Rach, I'm not coming back to LA. I'm hopping on a private jet to Guadalajara. And she was like, but I think 3 years in, she was like, okay, I'm used to these random things. And it ended up getting me involved in the whole tequila world. So I have.
Assia, next time call me, I'll go with you.
Well, the next gift is definitely tequila.
Okay. We have our final two, the anchors of our crew here coming up.
Sarra.
Thank you guys for doing this. This is honestly, like, I was in the shittiest mood today, and you guys have all bring me such joy, and Assia and Carmen, I really appreciate you guys doing it. I found a bench in the middle of the woods, so I'm super happy too. And if you guys want, I'll show you my view, because it's a good view.
Where are you? Tell us.
Where are you? So we're online educating our three girls, and fortunate in the grand scheme of things, but we were all about to kill each other. And so we did a thing that no VCs do, and we rented a house in Tahoe. But we're kind of in this like little community that feels like you're back in the 50s. I don't know if any of you guys have been up here, but it's called Serene Lakes. And it's kind of like not where any fanciness happens, and there's no like grocery stores or anything. And anyway, it's been really smoky, and I think it's kind of interesting, all the different stuff we're living through and what's hitting each of us personally versus not. But it's been, and I know everyone's had it down in LA too, but it's been really, really hard not to go outside, and we've had power outages and all that sort of stuff. So it's finally clear. Can I show you guys the view?
Yes.
It's amazing. And by the way, you have beautiful hair, coiffed hair. It's like, how does that happen in the middle of the woods like that?
Well, I took it down. This is what I'm most excited about. I finally got a grown-up haircut. So there we go. That's what I'm most excited about. And Assia, I told you if I came outside, I was going to wear my best hat. So I'm going to advertise you here.
Oh,
right? We can't see. Save the bees. Okay.
I have to send you a Juve hat, and I need an Angel City hat, because that's that. I hope you get to that in your summary, because your props to you for driving something so important.
Well, so I'm Kara Nortman. I'm a partner at Upfront Ventures. We're currently investing out of, we have 8 funds total under management, and we're currently investing out of our 6th Series A fund. We really do kind of, I'd say, seed and early A, but we do all of it A style, meaning each one of us makes 1 or 2 investments a year, even when we come in at the seed stage, which is honestly most often where we come in. About 1 out of every, so call it, $1 to $6 million type checks. 1 out of every 2 investments we make is in Southern California. I think COVID's been kind of interesting in all sorts of different ways, including, I don't know how to talk to people in the real world anymore, but even though I've been running away from LA a lot, it's made me just so focused on only really wanting to do things in LA. It just, I don't know, I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or a COVID crisis or what it is, but just, some of the women on this call, so good to see you, and I've caught up with you recently, and some I've been meaning to, and some I've never met, and I'm super excited to. But there's something about smallness and intimacy and just the ability to prove something together that is much more motivating to me than just trying to chase things and be one of many. And I think we really have that in LA. And so anyway, I'm excited to see all you guys this way, and maybe we can do a socially distant sparkling tequila cocktail. I tried a sparkling Paloma last week, and it didn't go very well, Deb. So I need whatever you have, because tequila. Either I need to climb a mountain or drink tequila, like one or the other. So
gonna have it in my backyard. We're gonna have like a women's funders event. I live in Malibu, and we're gonna have it in my backyard, and we're gonna be hosted by this sparkling tequila company. Seriously.
Okay, well then you have to wait till I get back, because I don't want to
When
miss
are you
that.
back? When are you back?
I'm back in November, and it's going to be hard to pull me away from here because I've been really enjoying being like a farm lady.
Assia, tell people where you are. Tell people where you are. She's like
Long Island. It's I hate saying the Hamptons because it's Sagaponic.
Right.
Sagaponic is like a hippie of the Hamptons.
Are there goats? Are there goats?
Pretty much. It's like I'm in a potato field.
I'm obsessed with goats.
Yeah, I'm in a potato field.
But well, tell us when you're back, and I'd love to see all you guys. I'll be back in 2 weeks too, and I think for at least a month before I wander somewhere else. But let's see, my most recent investment, I'm excited about that. It's a company called Brightive. It's in Los Angeles. It's privileged access for the cloud. So I've done a lot of everything, but I've been really focused on more infrastructure-oriented investing, cloud, cybersecurity, et cetera, and heavily in LA. So anything in that area, I'm super excited about. But I do still stray into consumer, and if anybody's interested in growth consumer, I have a couple that are in market right now that are doing really well and have things like EBITDA, which Deb is very confusing to me. I haven't seen EBITDA in a long time. And then, I mean, I've been fundraising too, and I guess we should do it. Like, I'm kind of interested in the separate conversations on SPACs and financial engineering and all that Moujan and Minnie can lead us in, and then fundraising too. I mean, I think it's interesting because everybody thinks I know how to fundraise because I've been at big funds, but I've never actually done it before. And so, you know, I'm getting a lot of mentorship around it, but I've also just been told, hey, good time to go build your Rolodex and get to contacts you know, we've never spoken to, which is not easy when your partner is Mark Suster. And so it's been interesting to do it and do it all over Zoom. And I have to say, certain days it's really motivating, and other days I'm like, this is all bullshit.
Sarra, and we will do a separate session where Rachel and I hope she'll agree to be put on the spotlight, but we'll give you the real hot and heavy of the last 4 years, and we've come out to the top of it. And honestly, I can say that, but we have from the more obvious, I mean, definitely we have to connect on this, and it's one of the things that I want to do with this group and really kind of help each other in that. And I don't mean that in a cheesy kind of way, but actually being smart about kind of hustling and making sure I mean, there's a lot of people out there and a lot of capital out there. So it's just a matter of telling the right story. But I mean, Rachel and I have said,
we should really do a session just on fundraising because it's a shit show. And there's
exhausting too. Like I have those days, Kara, where you're like, okay, I think it went well today. And then the next day you're like, I just got hit by a train 10 times in a row. You know?
No, there's no rhyme and reason to it. Literally, like one person that you think meant nothing, 2 days later will come in and give you a massive check. And then you'll talk to someone every day for a year and you think it's over and suddenly they give you $1 million. It's like, and the problem is that you become this constantly raising that person you hate, right? The person that walks into a room and is like dollar.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, the other thing that's interesting is like, I think we probably all legitimately want to help each other, but just actually figuring out how to do that in the right way. Yeah. And one thing I've been super conscious of is I've started to learn it a little bit is not being kind of like the women who came ahead of me who were not as helpful necessarily, and some of them definitely were. And then how do you be helpful when you don't know what the fuck you're doing yourself and those sorts of things? So well, you know, there's a lot there. Sorry for the swear words.
That. And to be honest, and I know it's like it's like a weird thing, but I think part of the process is to know where everybody is. And I think we you know, between groups like Milken Institute that I've gotten close to over the years, there's even though in a way we're all competing for capital, there actually are ways that if we centralize what we're trying to do, we're all in the rat race in it together. So we're going to love it when we do that too, because we're going to do it in the most elegant of ways, but you know, it's part of the fun. But there are also ways that because there is some intel around who invests in what. And if we can at the very least direct things to the right people, I think that's a pretty darn good start. So I'm excited about it.
And so, no, this is terrific. And I would love to really figure out how to calcify the cobble of this group and others and really help each other in the coming years. I think we all are figuring out what's important and where we should, do these things. So I think it's fabulous you guys are doing this. And I guess the final thing is Angel City and Assia. It's been so fun to share that journey with Assia, who's taught me about football, which we call soccer here in America, but I helped start a soccer team called Angel City. I co-founded it, and we're the first, I think we are the first majority women-owned, women-led professional sports team in the United States. And honestly, it's something that I didn't expect would go as it has gone. And I think it's brought me more joy and honestly more value in work. Like, it turns out men get really, really excited about sports. So I'm now in like all these crazy premier fantasy leagues, and I have to like text Assia to ask her, who I should draft in the Premier League. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun and joy in a 6-month period, which I think has been pretty draining and exhausting for a lot of us. And hopefully we can hold one of these events in 2022 in our stadium that we have yet to announce, but is coming soon.
Yay!
It's honestly that it's just the proportions, knowing what's to come and kind of seeing it in my brain and seeing the future. It's pretty impressive what's about to happen to the city and how important that team's going to be for the city. So especially around Olympics time.
Yeah, well, and if you guys don't know, Assia sits on the board of Juventus, which I still can't say, and I aspire to someday. But I think we all need to just take trips around the world when this is over to major soccer cities together and drink sparkling tequila and figure out more than anything just how to have fun, because God only knows the business will sort itself out and we're going to be old and dying before we know it.
No, I on that note, and it is sort of a housekeeping, I guess, because so my last year of my tenure at Juventus is up next September. And before that, and you're always sort of once a president, always a president, but I want to do a big bang where we go as a group and really do Monza, Ferrari, go to Juve, do the meeting the team, going to a game and having a nice big hurrah and charging it to our LPs.
All right.
Amazing. I'm in.
I think we all are. All right, so we're a little bit over, but please stay because we are going to close it out with the amazing Effie.
Oh, thanks, guys. First of all, this is incredible. There's nothing more precious than our time, and getting to spend an hour with you guys has been so special. So I'll do this super fast. So I'm Effie. I'm a GP at Sound Ventures, early stage fund based in LA. We are currently investing out of Fund 4, which is 150 million. Woo! And we are about to do a first close on Fund 5, which will also be 150 million. And something I'm really excited about is actually getting female LPs into Sound. So a huge miss that we've had in previous funds is that we've had a very tight knit group of LPs. It's about 25 LPs, and they've all been white middle-aged men. Yep. And we realized that we put these artificial constraints, like there was a minimum of 1 million and like other things that we just made it really hard to actually get women onto our cap table. And so that's been a huge priority, and I'm really excited about. We already have 3 women who are coming in as LPs out of the 25, and hopefully we get a few more. So I'm super excited about that. In terms of investing, we do A, Bs, and Cs mostly. We follow on, we don't lead. And then I'm personally really excited about financial inclusivity, but we are industry agnostic and sector agnostic. So think of me anytime a company needs help on marketing and branding. That's an area that we could be really helpful on. So would love to participate in this fundraising discussion. Lots of lessons that I learned from fundraising our last fund and this one. And then on SPACs, I'm actually on the board of 2 SPACs. One, the transaction already happened a year ago, and one was just announced. And then one of my companies that is just going through a SPAC now, which is HIMS. So I would love to participate in that too and be helpful. Just something to plant the seed. A good friend of mine, and it's someone all of you would know, he's an amazing founder of a D2C company that went public, is launching his second SPAC and looking for a CEO and board members. So would love to put great women in there. So if anyone is interested, he's focused on people who could source and are, embedded in the tech industry. So please let me know if any of you are interested or know anyone. But let's get some women in there. I think it's so, so important.
Well, any of these women would be the perfect candidate for that, to be honest. And I actually think the SPAC thing that is really exciting and something we could definitely do together. We've worked
on that note, we're also, there's a European SPAC that's looking for female, in particular board members, but just any board members as well, if there's any interest or anyone knows of anyone.
And if you guys ever want to talk about board membership on the public side of things, hit me up. I'm always happy to talk off the record.
If I can just, can I just say one thing about women in capital? Effie, I'm so glad you talked about women LPs. So one of the biggest questions I get asked all the time during fundraising is like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why didn't you just keep doing what you were doing? I am doing this because I really, really want to get capital associated with women a lot more. That's capital in the hands of women founders, but also women LPs creating wealth for themselves. In our fund right now, we probably have 60% of our LPs are women, 60%. Okay. And I want them creating wealth for themselves because it's exponential, right? You invest in women and they hire women in their executive team and they hire women on their boards. I get women LPs, they create wealth for themselves. I mean, this is really how we have to do this. So anything that all of you can do, it's not like, as an angel investor, I could invest in women founded companies and that was fine. And that was good. But the more capital that we can get women either allocating or creating wealth for themselves, where they can go and invest more in women that will hire women, that will put more women on boards, that's where we get the exponential effect. That's where I'm really, truly excited.
You're exactly right. Last September, we were about to close our fund and we realized we had no women, and it wasn't for lack of trying, but we realized we had to try even harder and lower our limits. And what we ended up getting a few amazing female investors for smaller tickets. But what I realized, and then we started working on, just pre-COVID, we were putting together a class for teaching wealthy women how to actually analyze either an individual deal or how to analyze a venture fund, right? So part of the people in this room, I mean, you guys, if you look under the lid, every single one of you have a pretty killer fund, right? And we have to be able to teach them how to evaluate those things. So there is a course of kind that was sort of half in progress with, what's the name of the school? Jimmy Iovines, the dean of that school, the Jimmy Iovines Business School in LA, what's it called?
USC?
Yeah, but the USC, he has a special academy. Anyway, that was just sort of trying to pool together female investors who just don't know where to put it or how to allocate it. And I think we are certainly, with women in LA, we could definitely be putting us forward as a group for sure.
Well, LAVA is the Los Angeles Venture Association. They're putting something together for next month. So FYI on that one.
So on
and Assia, can I say two quick things, which is one, just with Fenwick on, and Sarah, thank you. I've started in the last year, every time I start using a new lawyer, to ask for their female partner. And I think that is something we can do with our vendors and our service providers, and just a way to pay into the ecosystem. But then the other thing is just quick advertisement for All Raise, and Effie, congrats. It's awesome to hear. I think we have to get women into money and into power in all sorts of different ways, and we represent all the different ways here. And what I've become kind of pretty vocal about are spending time with the male partners at big existing funds to figure out not just how to get women in the door, but women into position of power, teach them the LP side, teach them how to fundraise, because if every woman has to leave to start their own fund, this is going to take forever. And so we need women to leave and start their own funds and infiltrate existing funds and learn how to do it and be given the equity and the power. And anyway, all those things are important, but that's where I've started to spend a lot of time in All Raise. If there are male managing partners at firms who were like pulling together best practices and small group conversations around that and stuff of that nature.
Yeah. All of this, it's it all has to come together at the same time. I sit on a public board and I was just made chair of that public board, which I'm terrified of. Let me just like put that out there to start off with. But we need we need to be hammering this in all aspects. LPs, like investors, entrepreneurs, fund managers, fund allocators, boards, every aspect. There's no silver bullet. It just has to happen on all aspects, and it really starts with capital. It
really does. And as an Italian and American watching the political climate, honestly, at the end of the day, no matter who wins, the work is in the capital markets, because that's what drives politics. So if we want permanent change, that is the people who are going to be able to be writing those checks in 5 to 7, 10 years. Those are the people that we're investing in today, and many of us are involved in. So quite frankly, I'm a pessimist of the short term, but I'm an optimist when I look at it's a lens into the future. When I look at what you're investing, Jesse and Tracy and Minnie, all of you, Cara, all of you, what you're Effie, the things that you guys are investing in, the founders that you're investing in, say everything about the future we're about to go into. So with those of you who have children, I do feel like we have a major responsibility here, and it's pretty awesome to see that even beyond this room, there is money being deployed in the right kind of way, but we do have to continue that. And it does start from here. And Carmen knows when I got into All Raise, I was like, as long as we just focus on the VCs for me, because we need to keep getting capital, the right kind of capital, and working together and multiplying our money and investing with impact, while also making a shit ton of money for ourselves and other people, like they've always done, but doing it in a way that is actually putting the important, so putting the attention on what matters most, which is what we all need to survive. On that note, this went super long, and I did want to end it with actually curious cards that I hope you guys use with your family. Please tag him on Instagram. He's awesome. And if you want to use him or the cards for other events,
they're amazing, Assia. They're so great. I went through them. They're awesome.
Yeah, next time when you guys have 2 hours, we can maybe do like 1 or 2 questions and see how we answer them. And he's just a really thoughtful founder. And at some point, I think we all would like to be able to invest in smaller businesses on the side as a side hustle, because this is, you also want to be able to support those companies too. And I know part of getting wealthy is being able to have the control of that too, and being able to put it in the smaller companies as well, and not just the fund returners.
And so, and also Marion is going to send out a survey. Please drop your thoughts into the survey. Let us know what you want to see from us as the representatives of the LA chapter. I just want to highlight something that Tracy dropped into the chat, because she is just such a voice for women of color. I can't tell you how frequently we are asked to speak at panels and whatnot. And so I think she has, we could do a whole series on Prop 16. Is that right, Tracy? Right? Yep. Prop 16, vote, get out and vote. But Prop 16 will help women and people of color get more capital. So we may do something special on that before the elections. And thank you again to our sponsor, Fenwick, Sarra. She's awesome. I mean, literally, they were like, will you please sponsor some goodies for us? And no questions asked. She pretty much was like, yes.
Well, first of all, alcohol. So you had me at alcohol, but also we, of course, love to nerd out about SPACs, and we actually have a lot of really interesting content in the can if that is something that you guys want some follow-up on. So we can offline about that, because we've actually created a lot of thought leadership around that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I've really enjoyed seeing all the familiar faces, and then, be reaching out to connect with some of the folks that I don't know, to get to know you a little better. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Love that. And definitely, guys, let us know what things you want from us. We are definitely executors. So the next thing is going to be SPACs. We are going to do something around that. I would love to put something together around voting and other issues. And Tracy, I will connect with you separately because I've been an advisor to Allied Action. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but if you guys are on Instagram, follow Allied Action. But I definitely think that we can do probably 2 more sessions now off of this. So I hope you can all make it when we connect with you.
Access to capital, helping women fund managers.
Oh yeah, and that's
capital.
Sorry, that to me is such
Yes.
a given. It's such a given. That's like that's like the
We're on it. We're on it.
I just
deal
want
flow,
is money.
deal flow and money into the fund is definitely the 2 priorities and the base level of what we have to do. So anyway.
Thank you
so much, you guys.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you,
fun.
Sarah and Carmen.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Take care. Have a good night.
Oh my God, Carmen and Assia, this was great.
Thank
I
you,
have no
Marianne, for-
idea what SPACs means, so I'm gonna look that up. I was like, I haven't heard this term. What is this?
I can walk you through it. It's actually, as with most financial things, they sound a lot more complicated than they are, and they're actually pretty darn simple. And if you break them down, it's basically to dumb it down. It's basically a bunch of people saying. Raising $200 million, which is the average ticket so far of an average SPAC. Give us $200 million. We don't know yet what we're going to be putting public, but we're going to be buying companies. Then we're going to group together, and then that entity with those companies in it is going to go public. And it's basically another way for companies to go into the public markets. But the truth, there's a lot of these legalities, like you have a certain few years that you're allowed to kind of keep that empty pot of money until you decide what to do with it. You're not allowed to know what you're about to invest in, but everybody does because nobody raises a SPAC without knowing it. But technically, it's a very, again, who came up with these rules? It's like, okay, sometimes I ask myself, that's such an arbitrary thing. I'm going to start inventing another game too. It's like, who says?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I would say the why now is that it's been so, just due to regulations, so complicated to go public. And now with so much uncertainty, because of COVID and whatnot, this just creates a different path.
But there's been a lot of unsuccessful SPACs, and that's because the people who are behind them typically assume that what they're buying, it'll eventually sort of create value. They don't really have the background to be experts in those areas, and so the companies kind of crumble. It's all in, like with most things, a choice of those companies in those SPAC and the level of managers, how they know how to manage that SPAC. So right now there's a big company that's called Subversive Capital that's putting together a SPAC for all the cannabis companies in California. And their goal is like literally swoop up, they buy all these companies and then go public. Boom.
Wow.
And,
okay.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. And the question is always, what is best for the founder? What's best for the investors? It's debatable, but at the same time, I actually think it's a really cool vehicle. And if managers are right and what you're selling is right and what you're packaging is really like impressive, then I think you have a real opportunity to make a killing. But I think it's just quality. I haven't seen SPACs that have blown my mind. I think there's still a chance to have a few SPACs that really get funded from the whole world. I feel like we have an opportunity to do that. But
Got it. Okay. This is super
Marianne,
helpful.
thank you so much for staying on over time and joining us early and supporting us on this event.
Of course. I'm definitely looking forward to the future. And it sounds like there's so many topics to cover, and just the power of community within the LA community.
Yeah, and I think the two, and we'll have a follow-up on all this and we'll chat in the background, but definitely I definitely want to do an LPGP roundup, but Carmen and I are already working on something around that, and the other one is a SPAC, but I think beforehand, I think we should do an event hosted by Tracy and maybe have her run through something, and we're very interested in a lot of that. So I'm going to connect her to see how soon she can get this again. Right?
Is that your honey? I hear some background. No?
Oh, that's my partner over there. There's like a game go. I guess the finals, the NBA finals. I'm a soccer fan. So I was like, oh my God, soccer around the world? Yes. Like I'm all for it.
Amazing. Listen.
All right, ladies, this was fun.
What'd you think, Carmen?
Oh my gosh, so fun. It was awesome. It was great.
This is amazing. Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you, Catherine.
Look forward to connecting with you. I will reach out.
Yes, and
definitely.
I hope you feel better.
Yes, thank you. But definitely, let's connect because I'm heavily involved with Lava. So, I think there's some synergistic stuff over there.
Yeah.
And we should talk offline and collaborate there.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Definitely want to build those partnerships. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
All right.
Good night. Have a good one. Bye.